What is up, rebel colonists and Mars citizens? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are beginning our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam Frozen Teardrop Volume 4. Last time, we learned about Katarine, who took Prometheus Gundam. She fought against Snow White and Warlock, but was saved by Naina and Millie Peacecraft. We also learned about the young boy named Troa Phobos. This time, we switch up focus to Father Maxwell. We see his past relationship with Hildy and his problems with alcohol and drugs. He runs into Zex, who now goes by the name Cyrene Wind, and we learn of the young boy named Duo. So let's get into this. This volume starts with a quote directly from the conversation between Hito and Trace during this scene. You know, that scene where Trace goes full hipster before unveiling the Epion. MC 0022, next winter. Kathy Poe is currently looking over the Zex files. We switch from her perspective to Maxwell's point of view. They just get word that Katarine was able to give them the slip and make off with the Gundam. Master Chang calls Maxwell Jr. and Hito idiots. The only Gundam they have here is Master Chang's, but he has never used it. Maxwell says they are no longer in their prime. These assholes are what, 30, maybe 31? Stop being so dramatic. He does say that Cyrene Wind is still out there, and to let him do as he pleases. Master Chang contemplates the last time he saw Cyrene Wind. He is referring to Zex. MC 0017, first summer. I believe Mars has 4 seasons, like Earth. They are just longer, so I am not sure what is going on with the 2 summers thing. Father Maxwell travels through the Mars desert on his motorbike. He calls himself Father, but he actively avoids churches and doesn't do anything priestly, as he puts it. He is more of a bounty hunter than anything. He treats Mars like the Wild West, full of day drinking, prostitutes, and gambling. He then heads to a town called Cyrene. He had to stop to get his bike fixed, as exhausts get clogged real quick on Mars. He parks his bike outside of a saloon, walks in, and orders a glass of wild turkey. Wild turkey survived through both AD and after Colony? Who is shipping wild turkey to Mars? Are there any other brands that survived? That opens up so many questions. Duo takes a shot and asks for the Colonel. The bartender's face goes pale. He simply points to a table in the back. Father Maxwell can take a guess at which one in the group is the Colonel. He heads over to the table of men playing poker. Maxwell takes his palm and shoves it into the Colonel's face, knocking his chair over. Duo pulls out a shotgun and aims it at the other man's head. He then pulls out a cigarette. Who is this version of Duo? I want to see more of him. Maxwell talks about Seaniacs and other hedonistic forms of culture from the old days. The Colonel doesn't know what he is getting at. This man is responsible for killing Elv Onagel, one of Trace's former specials. That is when a mysterious man approaches them. He answers Maxwell by saying the absence of pain is pleasure, which means the ultimate pleasure must be death. The father tells the Colonel to start talking, as this man has far more kills than he has. He says that a man named Neuenheim Konzern hired him to take out Elv Onagel. After saying this, the mysterious man puts a bullet in his head. Luckily for Duo, the bounty was for him to be dead or alive. This man is none other than Zex. That's right, the Lightning Count himself, the heir of the Lost Nation, codenamed the Wind that puts out the fire. That's right, I'm talking about none other than Miliardo Peacecraft. He has a lot of names. The two get a drink. Don't mind the blood everywhere, I guess. Father Maxwell calls him the man that brought independence to Mars. Don't give him another name. He says that was Miliardo, not him. Oh right, we are playing this game still. He brings up the Federation President, Disnuf Neuenheim, who is Noin's brother. Disnuf is 19 in French. Keeping that number motif going. Zex is annoyed simply by the sound of his name. Noin is at an event with him. They switch from wild turkey to tequila. He was going to ask what's next for him, but he's a wild card, so he chose not to. Rather, he wonders what should he call him now. He says, "Call me Cyrene Wind." Behind them comes a little girl. It is Naina Peacecraft. Where were you during the murder? Maxwell mentions since he's gotten here. The aging is something that he hasn't gotten used to. The cause of the accelerated aging is unknown, and it is referred to as the geriatric plague. Okay, they weren't being dramatic earlier. They really are aging faster. It varies depending on the individual and their environment. Father Maxwell only has been here for 2 years, but that is 4 to 5 Earth years. Cyrene has a favor to ask him. He wants him to take Naina to the Schbeiker Orphanage, aka Hilda Schbeiker. He doesn't want Disnuf Neuenheim to be an influence on her. He promises that he will return for her. They will head out tomorrow after Father Maxwell sobers up. Naina has a parting gift from Cyrene the Wind Peacecraft Marquise. While Duo was passed out drunk, some guys came and started trouble. They all had bounties, so we left their bodies so Father Maxwell can collect a decent chunk of cash. They head off into the Mars desert. MC 0017, next summer. The two traveled from town to town as they would have to constantly repair the bike. They then headed south towards the Green Republic, where the orphanage is located. He reflects on Disnoof Neuenheim. His family's company traveled between Mars and Jupiter within the asteroid belt and mined the resources, which then produced most of the colonies that brought forth the after-colony era. They controlled colonies up until AC-130, where his patents expired. This led humanity into a second colony boom. During this boom is when Mars began their terraforming project. They lived that dome life, with an orbital elevator connecting the surface to Phobos. But then Mars has less oxygen and less gravity. Like the moon, many didn't want to build a life in these environments, and the money men went away. Also, by this time, money started going to mobile suits and the military-industrial complex. He is certain that Disnoof Neuenheim is responsible for sending MO7 crashing into Mars, with the exact algae needed for growth. Disnoof and Neuenstad Nove would have shrugged this off as opposed to the Romafellers, who would have made a profit off of the deaths. But apathy aside, Nguyen's family is a part of the elite, no different than the Bartons. The now total pacifist lifestyle around the Earth sphere doesn't work for Mars. A place that needs growth, needs competition, and with that bred terrorism and a rise of orphans due to prostitution. I like to think that there is a bunch of slave children waiting to rise up in this universe like post-Calamity. But within the grim lifestyle, there are places of hope, like the Schbeiker Orphanage run by Hildy. It is under her name because Duo is still a wanted man. Also on Mars, churches don't get tax breaks, as Duo is barely a priest. This is barely a church and functions more as an orphanage for children in need. Duo funnels his bounties and gambling money into the orphanage. He tries to do good with what he calls dirty money. He introduces Naina to everyone. Since she was older than most of them, she fell into an older sister role quite quickly. They recently got a drifter kid that came in. Hildy jokes that it is his lost child. Duo thinks, I was with a few girls before Hildy. Nah, the timing doesn't line up. Duo be banging. Hildy decided to name the kid Duo. He hangs around a little bit before heading out. While smoking, he thinks, yeah, I probably shouldn't be around impressionable children for too long. He heads out to see that the little boy changed his oil filter for him. He says, are you my dad? Duo goes, hell no. We just have a similar face. Bro, that's not a similar face. That's the exact face. He tells the kid to treat Hildy well, and he takes off. So we learn Maxwell Jr. isn't actually his real child. MC0022, next winter, Kathy Poe pulls off the glasses. She wonders if this is all true. Who is the Major General Zex Marquise that is currently occupying the Green Republic? Father says that Zex currently goes by Cyrene Wind. She thinks it is a double or plastic surgery, but Duo is certain that this isn't the case, because Hildy snuck onto the Libra. Before he could finish that sentence, alarms goes off. Master Chang picks up 4 mobile suits from the Green Republic. 3 of them are Virgo 4s. The Oz-03 MD-4, Virgo 4, has 8 defensors, a Buster rifle, beam sabers, and enhanced thrusters. The other unit happens to be Gundam Epion. It seems they are finally making their move. Wu Fei will head out in his Gundam Nataku, aka Epion Bai. This is a white modified Epion. Father Maxwell takes a look at the screens. That red color. He is certain this is just like the machine he fought during the Eve Wars. They seem to be making their way towards Olympus Mons. They are after Snow White and Warlock. Wu Fei will engage in 30 minutes. They wonder if they should contact Duo and Hiro. He says they should contact Captain Sakai of the Voyage. Kathy focuses on hacking into the Mars Federation forces' surveillance, but the Federation's security is very quick. Duo isn't an old man and thinks that he can still pilot a Gundam. He thinks back to 10 years ago, MC0012, first spring. During this, he still went by Duo. He was considering breaking things off with Hildy. They have apparently been in an on-again, off-again relationship, but she beats him to it and breaks up with him first. He says he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he says his long braided hair is stupid. She says, hello to Solo for me. Oh wait, he's dead, and then she just leaves. Damn. He goes after her. As he grabs her, she throws him to the ground. She threatens a restraining order and leaves. MC0012, next autumn. Duo lived out near Olympus Mons. He sobered up after his breakup. He is amazed by the terraforming progress on Mars, as there are some areas that get close to breathable atmospheres. He thinks of what humanity's greatest legacies will be, not the pyramids, not the terraforming, as that is just a byproduct of science. Maybe it is something grander. He felt a sense of solitude he hasn't felt since he was a kid, and even shed a tear. Then he felt loneliness. MC0014, next winter. Over the past few months, immigration on Mars went up drastically. It isn't hard to immigrate, as it's still the Wild West. You just need a background check, and a vaccine against Martian degenerative disease. People seem to have gotten tired of the so-called freedom of the Earth sphere. However, crime went up. It is only a matter of time until a military will be formed, as Earthsphere military can't interfere. Duo goes out for a drive on his bike and ends up crashing. He was a little drunk, which didn't help. His left arm and both of his legs feel broken. He spots his bike on fire in the distance. Suddenly, it starts snowing. He goes in and out of consciousness and notes a circus. Then he hears someone approach, calling him an idiot. They eventually call for help. Duo mentions they use the heavy arms to transport him. He thinks if he wakes up, he won't drink again. And that will do it for this episode. Duo's life post-after colony seemed to be hit with the most struggle, all self-inflicted of course. The cool and collected Father Maxwell seemed to be hung up on the past, to a point where Hildy wasn't having it no more. Next time, we conclude Volume 4 of Frozen Teardrop. Duo will wake up and be met with Hildy. Later, the Orphanage will celebrate Christmas, and Cyrene Wind will be reunited with Naina. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, be like Duo Maxwell and Mark Wahlberg, and stay prayed up. Peace.